telling me what I can do, what I can say, what I can think, who my heroes are supposed to be. Just get the off.
Bill Maher just went full red pill. On the latest Club Random, he tore into Drew Barrymore, and the internet hasn't stopped talking. The fearless comedian went straight for the jugular, dismantling Barrymore, weak arguments like they were nothing. Unsurprisingly, the woke crowd threw a collective fit. Maher didn't flinch. His goal was simple: deliver raw, unfiltered truth in blazon, no fluff doses. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, now's the time. Things are about to get even hotter.
Discerning man. When it comes to a lot of things, you are.
It's a charitable word for it, but I appreciate it. Yes, I think I am. I mean,
I've watched you for decades go out there and speak your truth.
Yeah.
I don't think there is anything that exists of the truth. It's your truth. And
there is also in life the truth. We may not always be able to discern it, but there is the truth.
Barrymore just decided to parody one of the woke mob's favorite mantras. Truth is relative. You've heard it a million times. Confront a woke activist with cold, hard facts, and they retreat into their safe space. That's your truth. Let me live mine. Sounds poetic, but it's really just intellectual laziness draped in self-importance. Here's the reality. Facts exist. Opinions exist. Period. Facts don't bend to feelings. Gravity doesn't stop because you stub your toe. Opinions, they can either align with facts or float entirely on emotion and delusion. Rooted in facts, they matter. Rooted in vibes and wishful thinking, they crumble under scrutiny. That's Barrymore argument in a nutshell. It's not empowerment, it's escapism. And Maher, he wasn't about to let her off the hook.
Hard to be the one on either side to ever proclaim you know what it is. That is a dangerous thing to do.
Agreed.
We always need to hear, because we don't know. We're not God.
No.
Right.
No.
But it does exist, the truth. Not everything is just your truth. I mean, your truth has become sort of like code word for just whatever I feel like. Whatever I feel like believing. Well, that's not really the same thing as your truth. You feel this way.
Yeah.
Feeling is not enough.
And once again, Bill Maher launches a direct hit straight through the fragile heart of the woke mob. Their playbook: feelings over facts. When confronted, they scramble for cherry-picked fringe evidence that barely stands up, desperately trying to prop up arguments that crumble under the slightest pressure. Feelings are fleeting. One day you're certain, the next you're not. You can't build anything solid, lasting, or rational on a foundation that shifts with the wind. Yet somehow, the woke crowd wants to take these unstable emotions and use them to justify irreversible decisions like transitioning children. Think about it. Kids who haven't even figured out their favorite color are being told their passing feelings define them forever. It's reckless, it's dangerous, and Maher, he cut straight through the nonsense. Truth doesn't bend to feelings, and no amount of woke spin will ever change.
It is such a taboo subject, the truth.
It is. Oh, and it gets you hated.
Oh, as soon as I said it, I was like, the truth, that there is no truth. I'm like, that doesn't work. You can't say things like
111. Here's where it gets delicious. Drew Barrymore is visibly flustered. You can practically see the gears in her head grind to a halt. She thought she was complimenting Maher by saying he was speaking his truth, but Maher, quick as a whip, cut her off. There's no your truth or my truth. There's just the truth. And just like that, Drew completely unraveled. For a few painfully awkward seconds, she stumbled, rambled, and sputtered like a deer caught in headlights. That's the effect of truth colliding with woke ideology. It doesn't just bruise the ego, it shatters the entire illusion. Woke arguments sound convincing in echo chambers. But the moment they meet someone armed with logic and backbone, the facade crumbles. Barrymore wasn't having a conversation anymore, she was gasping for air. And in that moment, Maher proved exactly why truth always bulldozes feelings.
It's just so refreshing. Like, you were doing this before it was so dangerous.
Still dangerous.
And it is just way too dangerous now.
Yeah.
But you're still doing it.
It's slightly less dangerous than it was 2 years ago because we did have a vibe change, and because the Democrats lost so badly in 2024.
Whoa. Barrymore almost tried to sneak that one past the radar. subtly suggesting that speaking the truth today is somehow dangerous. Classic woke move disguise censorship as concern. But Maher wasn't asleep at the wheel. He spotted it instantly and shut it down before it could take root. That's the difference between sharp minds and compliant ones. Remember cancel culture? Just a few years ago, people lost jobs, reputations, even friendships, all for challenging the mob's narrative. Fear replaced free speech. Here's the twist: thanks to Trump shaking up the establishment and the unstoppable rise of independent media, those days are fading fast. Cancel culture isn't the roaring wildfire it once was, it's a dying ember, sputtering out while the rest of us grow bolder in speaking the truth. Maher just reminded everyone of that shift.
Is off the rose on left-wing censorship and, oh my God, you can't say that. Stop telling me what I can do, what I can say, what I can think, who my heroes are supposed to be. Just get the off.
Bill Maher took a moment to remind Barrymore and everyone watching of something the woke mob conveniently forgets. Free speech is enshrined in the Constitution. It's not a privilege granted by cultural gatekeepers. It's the fundamental right of every American to speak their mind, whether it ruffles feathers or not. Maher made it clear. If someone's words cross into criminal territory, that's what courts, laws, and institutions are for. Outside of that, speech should be free, raw, and unfiltered. That's the beauty of America. We don't silence voices just because they make us uncomfortable. And we certainly don't hand power to mobs who equate hurt feelings with crimes. Maher's point was simple, yet powerful. Free speech means all speech, not just the kind the woke elite approves of. And that's exactly why it must be defended.
Really is going on with me when I have issues with the left. Just get the fuck off of me. First of all, I don't believe you. You're not better. You're a lot of posers. Not all of you, but just get the fuck off of me.
Well, that's what I like is you call people out from all different areas, and I don't even know how to address parties anymore.
Deserves credit, love him or hate him. The man has guts. He calls out anyone, left or right, with the same fearless consistency that's rare in today's political circus. Unlike mainstream media, which hammers the right while sweeping the left's failures under the rug, Maher doesn't play favorites. He'll torch Republicans when they're wrong, but he holds Democrats accountable just as fiercely. That's why, despite the relentless backlash from the woke mob, people keep tuning in. In a world of biased reporting and agenda-driven spin, Maher's willingness to cut through hypocrisy is both refreshing and desperately needed.
Ballsy enough to do those things. What is it that scares you or that you care about?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Cut! I was so riveted by the framing there. I was like, wow, who are we talking to? What was the question? What am I?
If you're ballsy enough to be brave enough to say your truths or speak to what you believe is the truth,
yes. What
scares you and what do you care about?
Oh, what scares me is a little bit me, that, at any moment you can say something that really in private conversation wouldn't upset anybody.
Yes.
But the snitches and bitches will be able to use it to attack and end you, which they did once on Politically.
And that's classic left-wing hypocrisy. Behind closed doors, they say whatever they want, they laugh, joke, and share the same unfiltered thoughts the rest of us have. But the moment someone dares to say those thoughts publicly, it's outraged theater. The mob rallies, clutching their pearls trying to cancel the speaker into oblivion. It's never about the content, it's about control. Who can speak, when, and how it should be framed. Say the wrong thing out loud, and the mob descends. Cancel culture has always been a fraud, not about morality, but power. And every time someone resists that censorship, the left's hypocrisy becomes harder to hide. And
did a few times, and I understand that it is real and it can happen.
Right. So, I always say, whenever I leave the house, not even to just do the show, just leave the house, I'm having dinner at a restaurant, but one of those rooftop restaurants. Because is it really dangerous? Not very, but you could fall off the roof.
Right.
When you eat at a normal restaurant, there's no danger of you falling off the roof. When you eat at a rooftop restaurant, there's very little But it is possible you could.
1. The Democrats have turned the country into a nation tiptoeing on eggshells. For years, they conditioned Americans to second-guess every word, joke, and social media post, terrified that one slip could ruin careers or reputations. Fear became a weapon, making ordinary people paranoid about speaking their minds. It wasn't about respect, it was about control. Keeping everyone silenced and obedient while the left dictated what could or couldn't be said. That's why so many are now rebelling. Americans are done whispering. We want to speak freely without the mob looming over us. Bill Maher's exchange with Drew Barrymore wasn't just celebrity drama, was a wake-up call. The left thrived on censorship, double standards, and a culture of fear, but those days are fading. Independent voices are rising. Cancel culture is gasping for breath. Maher, whether you agree with him or not, proves that truth still matters, and when spoken boldly, it cuts through the noise like a knife. The facade is crumbling, hypocrisy exposed, and free speech is making its comeback. That's worth celebrating, so hit subscribe, share with your friends, and together we can snuff out the dying embers of woke culture. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in